What's up, guys? It's KingDaddyDMAC, and welcome back to another episode of ModSauce. That's right, on the official HermitCraft ModSauce server, one and only. Oh yeah, baby. So excited, so excited. By the way, guys, little reminder, just in case you didn't know, still getting comments about when is the pack gonna be out? When's it gonna be public? It is public. It is public on the AT launcher. Link is in the description below of where you can go to download it. There's also tutorial videos on how to install it. Both Jassassin and Biffa have a tutorial on how to install ModSauce. So super cool, super cool. Hope you guys are playing along. Anywho, what's going on? What's going on? Last episode, we kind of were all over the place. We installed those 2 elite factories in the back. Yep, right over there. And yeah, they're pretty cool. There were a couple of bugs with it, and you guys helped me out in the comments, letting me know why like speed upgrades pop out and why some of the machines got deleted and all that sort of stuff. So pretty neat, pretty neat. Thank you guys. I always appreciate it when you help me out in the comments with stuff from the videos. It clears things up, and it just helps me have so much fun. I love interacting with you guys. Anywho, new stuff. So watch this. Bam! Look at that. I took down all the barrels since we have like absolutely no use for barrels anymore. My frame rate is suffering from this. I know this is horrible to do at spawn, and it's not going to stay up here, but I just think it looks so neat. I'm going to leave it up for a couple days before taking it down, but get to show off all sorts of our Tinker's tools and different rare items. I thought it's so neat how that compass, depending on where we are, it actually moves, pointing to spawn. We got the clock. It's kind of a neat thing. You can throw a clock on the wall and always know what time of day it is. Super neat. You can do that trick in vanilla too with just an item frame. We got our bee, our magnet, all sorts of different tools, bookshelves, even these ones. This is all bibliocraft. It's really cool stuff. I really like this little desk too. These are like just normal books. Let me see if I shift. Will it pop out? There we go. Look at it, just an enchanted book, and I can set it right down in there. I think it's neat, and I think we'll start to incorporate these more in builds. I made all of my Tinker's stations, all the like half slab versions, which is pretty neat. I'm trying to think what else. Our elite factories, they're going well. These guys aren't automated yet. Kind of upset with the fact that they don't pull out of an inventory similar to the Ender IO. It's just such a neat thing. Anyway, we put in our translocator, which is neat. We got our 64K barrel. I made a new Tinker's Forge out of cobalt, because apparently this one was emerald. Yeah, when you make it the half slab thing, it's kind of unfortunate that the emerald part goes away, so it's kind of a waste. But that's okay, that's okay. So let me see. Other things going on. Let's just go check how many of the cobblestones we got going. And a lot of people are telling me about the math, doing out what's worthwhile, making the bedrock ingots this way, or whether we should do it with the new diamond recipe. And yeah, it takes less cobblestone, but diamonds are still diamonds. If you could make diamonds with cobblestone, I'd probably be generating cobblestone to make diamonds. So if we can avoid making diamonds, that's always cool. Oh, and also, I'm sorry, I always go and I like to catch you guys up on what's going on. Look at this. So we set this up a couple episodes ago to make singularities. It's been running ever since. We already got 60. That's crazy. So maybe I need to start a singularity shop. That's, of course, to link up the quantum chambers once you've got the entangled ones. So pretty neat. Anywho, let's get out of here. My frame rate is god-awful. I got to remove that stuff soon. People are going to get mad. Let's go hop on over real quick to our spawners. And then I think we ended off last episode with just having power issues over at the spawner and seeing what was best. I didn't notice anything in the comments of people talking about exactly what we needed, but I think I need to do a thorough test of exactly how much power I'm pushing through stuff, what wires bottleneck stuff, so I just get an exact knowledge of how these things work. But in any case, look at that. Our bedrockium drum of essence is full. That's ridiculous. We switched over to ender pearls for the power for this other guy. Let's just check. I think that number might have gone down, but we still have over 1 million. And it looks like it is... Looks like it's staying pretty steady. It's probably going down a little bit in the long run. let's pop down here. Sure. I ended up installing a couple more of them. And these grinders, man, they just give me the biggest problem. So we're going to have to do a bunch of scientific tests and figure out I want to figure out exactly what we need. But the energy's showing is pretty full on them. So, again, it depends on whether that grinder's going or not. But it's expensive. I actually even threw this guy back in because these 8 didn't seem to be cutting it. Here, that's expensive. I don't want you in there. But yeah, anyway, it's working. If we weren't using the energy, it would just be wasted away somewhere else anyway. So it's all good. In the end, I should probably just throw a Tesseract on. But yes, let's get over to DMAC Corp because that's the important thing. Let's go here. And let's go Highlands. I got to change that to DMAC Corp. Or it's not DMAC Corp, it's King's Corp. My goodness. So, over here, what have I been doing? I've been playing around with a lot of the different chisel blocks. And I've been trying to figure out which ones I like. And I came across a lot of neat ones. These are called temple blocks. They're really goofy. I think they'd be really neat for a build, but I don't think we're going to use them here. And they make, I'm going to turn my sound way up just for this. Music sounds. Got to remember to turn it back down. So listen when we walk over. Makes kind of funny sounds. And then when you pick them up, normal sound. We set them down. Oh, I guess that makes normal sound. But some of these blocks make really goofy sounds. These are kind of cartoony. And what's also really just unique about these is look at that. Look at how it curves in like that. It's almost like the carpenter's blocks. Like somebody took a hammer and went bam. So really neat. I think this would be interesting to have like some type of place you teleported into that was just all of a sudden like cartoon world. So pretty neat. And then the viney versions they have of each one. I'm wondering if there's some type of temple that naturally generates with these. Probably not, but maybe it's something in the future. This is a block that I really liked. Look at that. Holy stone. You hear that? It's like little bells ringing. With this one, me break it. Isn't that weird? So this is another cool thing. I bet we could make some type of room out of these. And then, of course, what everyone seems to use, the factory blocks. I think there's still another music sound. No, friendly creatures, environment. No, all my things are pretty much jacked up that I can think would go with this. But these are super cool. And yeah, so without going through, you guys, if you install the mod, you can see, or may already know with chisel, all the different types. But I laid these out just so I could kind of see them all side by side. I think in the future we should make some type of museum that features just really every type of building block so that whenever we're doing a project, we can walk in and just be like, this would be cool for this project. This would be cool. Because when you look in NEI at stuff, it doesn't always look the same as what it looks like when you set it out. Plus how the textures connect. Like who would know? This block, you might think the textures would connect when you connect them, when you set them down next to each other, but they don't really. Whereas this guy, they do. So who knows? The carpet block, that's really cool. I'm really liking this one. Not so much in the white, but there's a lot of other colors. We have to get more. We got to set up some type of wool farm. This acacia, I think, looks phenomenal. I'm always a big fan of this color, reddish orange. It reminds me of my old series, my red rock bases. I think this is really neat. That almost looks like it's a stone or something, but it's really acacia wood. So it works for all the vanilla woods. This is interesting. Brick well from Pam's HermitCraft. I don't think this is intended to be a building block. I'm not really sure, but regardless, I think it looks pretty neat. This is spruce. I'm not a big fan of most of the spruce textures, but, I'm sure you find use. This limestone is a really other abundant material, and there's a lot of chiseled different types that you could do. In fact, I had to do all these, and then go on to the next one for them, too. So I think it matches all right for doing a different color scheme with the marble, possibly, maybe. So I've just been spending kind of hours and hours of off-camera work just tinkering around with different blocks before we move on with King's Corp and finishing it. And, because, once we get it figured out, we're just going to go ham and just build the whole thing. But anyway, I'm not going to tinker any more around with that. Today, I want to get into AE. I want to figure out the basics for auto crafting And it's a fairly new thing. I mean, the whole AE system is pretty new. So I've been crafting up tons of different materials. And why don't we kind of hop into it, and let's just kind of walk through the basics now of how AE works, and then let's try and get all the way to auto crafting today. Oh man, I am not used to seeing my guy without a hat. He looks kind of funny. It's all like misshapen look in my head. Man, it's been a while. It's been too long. Anywho, I jumped into a creative world. I was going to try and do this on ModSauce, the HermitCraft ModSauce server. But it was just a little, I wanted to be in creative. It was just getting a little too tedious trying to craft up a whole bunch of stuff just for testing. So I thought this would be a little bit better for you guys, a little bit more entertaining. My main objective here is just to go over the like super beginning basics of AE, stuff that I kind of skipped in the LP. Just kind of assuming that you guys knew. But enough people asked that I think that it's important that we kind of go over this. AE's changed. This is going to be assuming that you already knew how AE used to work. The main changes in here is basically now we're limited to the amount of stuff that we're able to connect to a wire, and they'd, I guess, call a channel. And that's going to be for things that are inventory or item related. So power, we can connect as much power as we want. And that's not going to affect channels or anything like that. But when it comes to anything with an inventory, such as an ME chest or an ME interface, or really anything that can hold items or has to do with that item data, that's going to use up a channel. And without having, we're basically allowed now on a single wire, we're basically allowed 8 channels before we have to do a new split. I'll explain that a little bit more momentarily. But let's knock all this stuff off again. There's a new type of wire, and this is called ME Smart Cable. This basically the only purpose of it is to sort of inform you, let you know how many channels you're using. It's just to be a helpful tool. It's not a necessity for anything for any reason. In any case, all we need to get this started, we have Creative Energy Cell, and we can connect 1. You can see there's 1 channel on there. 2 channels going. 3, 4, 5, 6, 7. And let's get another one. 8. And then we can see it's completely filled up. If we add on any more beyond that, let's do some more smart cable. If we add on any more, boom, the system dies. So a lot of people, you know, it's a little discouraging. It is different, but it's not a big deal. It's not a big deal at all. If you want to add on more than that initial 8, all you got to do is you got to add in a controller. So let's go boom, and then put power to it. Now, the wires are represented a little bit different now that we have a controller. It can still only do 8 in that initial line, but you're able to see basically from right here, there's only 1 channel, 2 channels being used, 3, 4, and then it skips over to this like pinkish thing. So you have 4 of the blue, 1 of the pink, so that's 5, 6, 7, 8, and then beyond that, we're maxed out. We can't go any higher. If we added another chest here, we're going to lose a chest over here. 1 to nothing. So 8's our max. Now, yeah, kind of stinks. It's not a big deal. Not a big deal. There's a couple of different ways that you can go around this. One, for this one, we can just add in another line connected to another side of the controller. And each side of that controller is going to allow for another 8 channels to go by. So that's cool. That's cool. It's just a little bit difference in wiring. No big problem. And of course, we can have more than 1 controller. But other ways to circumvent this, they added in a new type of wire. And let me kind of show this. The different wires, you guys should be familiar with the glass cable. We had that before. This is the same thing as this cable. It just is the basic form of it. Doesn't do anything else. This only shows the channels. It's not anything better for transferring data. We had the covered cables last time in AE1, and the difference of that, it's just covered. We have the smart cables, it's just this cable, but with that little representation of the channels on it. Otherwise, it's the same exact thing, but now we have these dense cables, which are super cool, super beefy. Now, what these are going to do is basically allow 32 channels to go through a single wire. So, connecting here, boom, you can see it goes That's the maxed out 8, but then on this side, it's only using 2 channels. Now it actually will show every time, every 4 things added on, it will add on 1 line there. So it's still doing that when we have 4, still showing 1. In fact, it's going to show 1 as soon as we added 1 chest on there. Oh, no, we have to actually add 4 before it shows it. So that's kind of interesting. 2, 3, 4, or maybe it just needed a moment to update. No, that's it. So as soon as we added that 4th, that's when the line goes on. So 4. That's also at the same point that when we add another here, because it did 4, the 5th one is going to add that darker one. So actually that's what those lines would represent here. So that's interesting. That's cool. But anyway, what we can then do is, since this does 32, we can just take this cable and we can split it off right from that one little spot over to these smaller cables, and then it works fine. From this, we can actually add 4 different sets, because 4 times 8, that's 32. Cool. Once we run out of space on this cable, we're able to just add in another cable to another side and continue the same process. So it's not quite as easy with wiring. You got to think about it a little bit, but it's no big problem. And I actually showed a representation over here. You just got to think of it as like the trunk of a tree going up, and then these are the branches. And you're able to have 4 sets of 8 going off of a single cable before you have to set in another one. Now here's an example. I have on this one every 4. That's just to show the solid line. We have nothing. 4 goes into 1. As soon as we add another 4, goes to 2. As soon as we add another 4, 3, so on, all the way until it's completely full. And this is what a completely full wire looks like. Now, as soon as, if we were to add on another chest here, which you can just, if you wanted to, you could use all this cable. You don't have to use anything else. It is pretty expensive if we look at the recipe, so what it's requiring to make. But in any case, as soon as we connect this guy here, it's going to disconnect another chest somewhere else. So it's not like it blows down your entire system, but you can see we're losing right there. We lost this chest here. If we take this out, we should gain that back. Boom. So pretty neat. Pretty neat. And you can really arrange it any way you want, as long as it's no more than 32 for that, 8 for this type of wire. So this arrangement would probably be the most efficient, something like this. So, and of course, you could also connect things multiple sides. You do that, we're going to lose momentarily. Oh, this wire's maxed out. So we ended up losing these 2 right here. So anyway, that's just kind of the important thing that I wanted to point out. Now, as far as the controllers, this is the most efficient way, I would guess, for a single controller like this. You can put in any side you want, and the power, where you have the power, doesn't have to go directly into the controller. We could take the power out here, and we could stick the power in over here, and it still ends up working just the same. It's part of the network, so that's cool. But as you get to spots where you need more than each of the sides of one controller, then you can move to larger controllers. Now, the controllers become kind of like a multi-block structure, and you're able to connect in as many as you want to any point on the controller. Boom, boom, boom. Each of these, this is a different 32 channel coming out. Now, these are both turned off right now. I don't have power connected. I have noticed kind of a little bit of lag when doing this. Just, I'm assuming it's from the lights all blinking around. I'm not sure if it's doing block updates or anything. But yeah, this is the controller once you turn it on, the multi-block structure. These are both 7x7. These are the max size that you can do. As soon as you start adding on more controllers beyond this, boom, see, it turns red. And that's meaning it's not working. And then these, part of them, sometimes they split off and it doesn't recognize it or doesn't like dismiss it. But, you know, for theirs, they might be working a little bit. But beyond the 7x7 doesn't work. You don't have to have it this big. I could knock out these pieces here and it still works just fine. So it's really kind of a neat system to just being able to add on whenever you need more space. But 7x7 is the most. I can't imagine ever needing more than this. And if you do, you just make a new system. It's not a big deal. And that's kind of seems like what's being promoted with this new AE with AE2 is to, try and limit your systems, and, you can make multiple separate ones if need be. Now, what I did find kind of interesting, and I don't know, you guys might be able to say in the comments, I don't know that there's any benefit in making it solid. This is solid right here, this one, whereas this one is not. And I don't think you're getting any more spots to plug in. If you had it like this, you're able to get all the area to plug in wires. So I'm also not sure what else this means. There might be another block that I'm overlooking, but from what I'm seeing, it looks like this is all you have to do, and you can make it hollow. And it's still making the multi-block. So anyway, that's kind of the basics of the wires, and just understanding how those channels work. For all these, you can see as soon as I knock out that right there, it ends up, you can add on more space somewhere else. Anyway, that's the basics in kind of a nutshell. And these wires are really neat that you're able to visually see. It really does help a lot. So anyway, let's get on back to the world and let's do some auto crafting. All right, so we're back. We're back in the HermitCraft server. And man, I feel kind of newbie how I've set things up after having experimented with all these wires, but it's really not that complicated once you get the whole hang of how all that stuff work. And of course, other main changes between the last one and this one is that they have all these nice little terminals that are flat and can just connect into cables instead of full blocks. Sort of like even the ME interface, you can make that into a flat little terminal instead of a whole block. And yeah, it's pretty neat. It's pretty neat. The auto crafting, surprisingly, although it looked at first glance inferior to the old system, as well as a lot more tedious, it's actually super duper easy. You really don't need that much. And I really have the urge to redo our whole system now after knowing what I'm doing. But in any case, let me just show you the things that you need. Let's share. Okay. And bam, 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 bam. Okay, so I have my main system. I've got the power. I've got it going through an ME controller, which is required for, again, anything more than 8 channels. I've got one of these dense cables going. You can see we only have, so there's 2 lines. That would mean that we'd have somewhere between 8 and 12 things going on. Over here, this one's maxed out. We might have something back at our spawn base that isn't working because of it. But in any case, this stuff is super easy. We're going to want 2 new interfaces. We're going to want the ME interface terminal, and we're going to want a pattern terminal. Okay, so why don't we set these up? Let's go, I guess we'll do a pattern terminal there. The crafting terminal we don't need. An ME interface terminal. The crafting terminal is actually what should be going over here. I'm going to stick that right. Oh, man. Oh, I wonder if the terminals can't connect to the dense wire. That may be a reason why you don't want to always use dense wire. Okay, not a big deal, not a big deal. We'll do a smart cable right here. And nothing's connected to it. We connect that on. We should see a channel going. Bam, channel there. Okay, so now we're good. We got our crafting, everything. Okay, so what do these new terminals do? The interface terminal, this is going to be showing you what our jobs are, kind of like, I think it was called the crafting monitor or crafting, might have been called crafting terminal before. Or it was called like the ME, whatever. This is showing you what's being crafted when we're crafting. And then the pattern terminal, this is basically replacing the pattern, the thing that makes the patterns that you want to craft. So we're going to, of course, need to make those up. So let's see. They're these guys right here, blank patterns. Not too bad. They're not the cheapest thing, but it's not a big deal. I got a couple of them already made up. So when we want to do stuff, and the point of this right now, we want to get all the things that we need for AE Auto Crafted. You take those blank patterns, you put in there, you put what crafting recipe that we want. So what's something that we'd want early on? Let's say we want to make, let me think. Let's say an energy cell. Okay, before the energy cell, we'd want to have, and let me clear out these two because I was playing around with it. So that's cleared out. To clear them out, all you got to do is, and by the way, if you hold shift, it'll show you what's in the pattern, but you just put it in your hotbar, shift and right click, and now they're blank again. So reusable, pretty neat. So once again, we just stick them all into here. So we wanted to make, of course, you probably want to make a pattern to make more patterns. That would almost be one of the first things I want to do, but those require the quartz glass. So that's just glass and then that type of quartz. So if we just shift right click, it goes into there. Cool. Make a pattern. Awesome. We got our pattern. And now we can throw that. Let's see. Probably should get to the rest of the crafting stuff. You need to have some type of crafting storage here. This is kind of like before you had to have the multi-block CPU. Now you only have to have a single block if you want, and you just throw it right up there. There's several different levels. This is a 64K, that's the highest level, and these also are multi-block. We can add in more to this one, but for what we're doing right now, we only need one. We probably didn't need the 64K. Let's see. So we probably only needed a 1K, and that's just taking the storage component and a CPU crafting unit. So not too bad. You get that. You got to get an ME interface. Bam. And then you got to get this guy, the molecular assembler. Again, not too bad, just quartz glass, and then the formation core, and it's probably formation and annihilation. But in any case, they're more or less the same thing. You set that down. All right, so not bad. We're seeing this isn't taking a signal, which is kind of interesting. You don't see that go through, but this one and this one are both. I almost could see why this wouldn't. Actually, that's one. Yeah, and then it goes to 2. Okay. So we have our pattern. Did we make the pattern? Yep, we made that pattern for that. What you're going to do is now, before you used to put it into your big multi-block of the sort of like the crafting CPU, instead now you just put it in the ME interface that's next to the molecular assembler. And now this should show up as on this one. Oh no, where is it? Which is the one? On our normal terminal, if we go into craftable items, now that's something that we can craft. Cool. So I can go quartz glass, craft 10. Bam. It's showing, it was showing what's being crafted. And I think in this one, it's showing that's what's going on right now. And we could see it for a moment show up in there. Let me do that again. Let's craft another 10. Next. And it's showing right here. This is, oh, maybe I didn't even start it. 15, 12, this is what's needed to craft it. This is telling you how many bytes we're using up, which we have more than enough. And go start. And here, if we had multiple CPUs, we could switch between them right now. That is counting 0. It's telling you the storage, and coprocessors, whatever, blah, blah, blah. This will automatically choose it. So then we go start, and we can see it being crafted up right there. It finished real quick because it was an easy job. Awesome. Now, it gets kind of annoying if once you're adding in multiple of those things to go and have to manually fly up to it, grab it, take out the pattern if you wanted to rearrange stuff. You can actually do that with this ME terminal interface. I can just grab it here and then notice it's no longer in the interface. And then I can just go here and I can add it in. Cool. Well, what if we want to make another ME interface? So why don't we make a pattern for that now? We wanted to make a pattern for patterns. So let's do that. We have everything in there. So pattern for pattern, boom. Let's stick that in our interface. I can't shift it in, so let's just set it in. And it went up, it's in there, cool. So pattern for pattern. Let's now make an ME interface. Where is the interface? Right here. Okay. So we'll make a pattern for that. I know we don't have the stages working up to that, but we'll do that one. So formation, annihilation. So annihilation. Which one do I want to use? Okay, we'll just do that one for now. So annihilation, bam, and formation. These guys are always so hard to see. I need to make my little NEI larger. Let's see. So we did the annihilation. Let's do the formation. I'll just do it like this. Formation. No, we did the annihilation, so now the formation. And that just takes the different types of quartz. Bam. Bam. All right. So, yep. Got both of them. And I think that's everything that we needed in that craft. Let's go here. Let's throw... Can't shift them in. I forget that. Let's set them in. Awesome. Awesome, awesome. Let's go now over here. And we can see we have all those new patterns. Let's craft up one of those. Let's craft just one for now. Bam. And automatic start. And we should see it probably has already crafted itself. Let's see what's going on. Molecular assembler. I feel like there's another interface that I'm missing, but... Oh, that's what this is, crafting status. No crafting job active. So it already finished, so let's switch to the different type of view. ME... No. ME interface. Awesome. So we have the one. Cool. And then it shows up just like before for crafting more if we need it. We can go boom. Let's craft 10 of them. Bam. Automatic. Start. And we can see it all going on there. Cool. So if we want to add in more crafting stuff to this guy, once we run out of room here, we can just go bam, add in more. And that, I don't know if that restarted the system. It might have. I know in old AE, that's how that worked. Let's actually just see. All right, it looks like the job finished. So now, because we have 2 of them, when we look in this guy, look at that. We actually now have 2 different lines. So anything in this line will be that one, this one, and then the new one is anyone on top. And I'm assuming you can just keep on scrolling through as many times as you want. So that's pretty neat. Not too complicated, real easy system. I actually kind of like it better than the old system. I think that it's a lot easier to add on as you go. Now, there's the system where you can have all different interfaces around each one. Of course, surrounding it would give the max amount. But what I found really interesting and why this is so cool, I think, is basically you can also do it the other way around. So I'll give an example of this. I really shouldn't put these on top of each other. I'm going to keep on doing that. Let's craft one of these. We need to make a crafting tables thing. So let's make a pattern for crafting table. Let's make a pattern. I think we have everything else already done. Bam, pattern for that. And I mean, this stuff is just so powerful. Let's go ahead. Let's stick. In fact, I'm going to stick these into the same one. Let's go like that. Why not? And let's go ahead and let's craft up. Let's craft 2 more of those next and start. So those are crafting, already done. I mean, it's pretty quick. It's really pretty quick with everything. So what was this thing called? It was called assembler. All right, so we have the 2 more assemblers. So if we want to at any point, we can just add on. Let's continue this cable upwards. This is really being sloppy, but just to show you guys. And how are we doing? That's nice that that didn't use up anything. And because it's smart, that's cool. It's smart enough to know also because... Oh, you know what? Was that connected in before? Yeah, it should be. It should have gone through this. But in any case, that was already connected, so it's not showing up on the wire. We can now take an ME interface. So let's pull this guy off. Let's put in the one ME interface. Go bam. And then we can just surround it with this. And what this is going to do is when I require a job, instead of just using the one, once you start to get bottlenecked on just the one thing, it will actually split it up amongst the multiple other assemblers, which I think is absolutely amazing. And we can still access everything. In fact, we should have seen... No, we still just have 2. So we can access everything there. So that is really neat. That is really, really super neat. And it really makes for limitless customization of crafting. So I'm going to go through. I'll try and set up something that's it'll see how much time we have left, but try and set up something neat so that I can demonstrate this a little bit better. And I think I want to clean up this whole area and switch over all of our stuff that's still over at spawn. Let's see, spawn house. Oof. I really want to move all this stuff over to our new base and then just have right here just our little linking chamber and a nice little crafting terminal and or ME terminal. And we'll move everything else over. So I think that's pretty cool. I'll meet you back. All right, guys. So I got everything moved out at our spawn house that I need to get moved. with the quantum link chamber, I don't need to have power on both sides, but I'm a little fearful if something gets unloaded then loaded, it can mess up. So I'm going to leave in the power over here. We're going to leave in a wireless access point just so that we can access all of our stuff, and a crafting terminal. Just the basic, ooh, I don't want to set that down. Just a basic crafting terminal. That should be good. I want to see, I think we can cover this up. Let's see, can I shift it on? Oh, dang it. May not be able to cover that up. Let's see, can we cover this up from the side? That's cool. Does that hide it? Is that still, oh, dang. All right, so we can't do that. Pull that off. Oh, maybe we could have done that. Let's find out. All right, so now I can access it. If I put on the facade, like show, was that accessible? Oh, no, it's still accessible. I'm seeing one channel. It's hard to see the other channel. Yeah, I can just barely see it. So that's pretty cool. That's pretty cool. I'll probably find a different spot to hide that guy, just so we can cover it up and make it all nice and symmetrical. This whole room's off. But that's been for a while. Anyway, I'm digressing. So I think everything's set. I think we're close to be able to wrap things up. Let me show you what I did over here. We're going to have to make this into a new room because this is just in the way. But anyway, I just scooched everything over just a tad. Got our energy cell going in. Got our ME controller. Still only need one currently. Like, this is what I'm saying, guys. You really need to have a lot going on before you need to add in too much. Got our wireless access point. Moved over our security system on our side. Have our quantum link chamber. And notice I have this going to its own little area. And it's going through the ME dense cable. So it should, I don't know how many channel, like whether it can send through only 8 or whether we can do the full amount or whether it even matters. It's not really seeming like it's even counting as a channel. So I don't know. In any case, going over here, I've got all of our storage moved over here, which is cool. This is taking up 4 channels, exactly 1, 2, 3, 4. Awesome. So we have this branching over. So that's one of our little branches. We have room to extend. Then I have this going up and splitting over here. We're using 4 channels just for all of our different terminals, which is fine. Our crystal growth accelerator does, and that, by the way, that should be off, does not use up a channel because it's only doing power. So cool. So that's going off. Then here, and this we can actually compact even more, I realized, because we don't have to run wires. With AE, anything that's, any machine that's touching another machine, it passes right through. So for visually, this is nice to have to see. This guy is not actually taking up a channel. I did confirm that. It's this guy. Notice when I take that off, bam, see, that's what it was. So that's pretty cool. So I'm going to knock all these guys out. Dunk. Oh, come on. Dunk, dunk, dunk. We'll move those guys out. Move these all down by 1. And I think it is smart for me to use the cables as much as possible in the beginning, just so that I can get the swing of things, but that should be the exact same. So that compacts it. I could probably even move it down more, but I do not want it interacting with this cable. I'm pretty sure you can use microblocks too, if you want to separate the cables, just like we do with the extra utilities pipe. But in any case, that's good. We got plenty of room to expand. This has 3 now touching it, which if I go into this interface, we can see all 3 levels. So that's super cool. I'm going to, between this episode, next episode, add in a ton of other auto crafting stuff. And man, we're going to be on easy street. Absolute easy street. And maybe once I have those things set up, we can actually demonstrate more of the customization that's able to be done now with AE's auto crafting. I love it. Like, I was a little scared. I was a little scared that he messed up the mod, but the more I know about it, the better I can tell you it is. It's a lot of fun, and I'm just super excited about all the possibilities that are, you know, possible now with AE2. It's awesome, man. Good job with the mod. I like it. I personally like it. So anyway, guys, thank you oh so much for watching. Hope you enjoyed. Hope you learned something. If you didn't learn something, try and help me out. Teach me something in the comments. Tell me something that I should know that I didn't do or I could know better. Anything that can help me out the mod pack. It's thoroughly appreciated. If you just want to say hi in the comments too, please do, because I always read them and I love them. I love them. Make sure to hit that thumbs up, because it helps me out oh so much, and I love that too, and it just lets me know that you guys are appreciating the time that I put in with those. And last of all, if you're new, do not forget to subscribe so you can be first to see the videos. Anywho, hope you enjoyed, guys. Probably not going to have any more videos this weekend, but should see you back for next week. So enjoy your weekend. Thanks for watching. And as always, peace out.